What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, January the 17th. We have 3 more days. 3 more days. Wow. Again, you know what? It feels like it's Christmas. It feels like it's Christmas coming up. Monday, fun day. I've been saying Monday, fun day for years, and now people are starting to understand what the Monday, fun day is all about. Me too. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Please, if you would, like, follow, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. No matter how you are watching this, hit that thumbs up for me. Show me some love. That's like the easiest thing you can do for me. Just go, do this. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna hit the thumbs up for Will Johnson this one time. This one time, I'm gonna hit the thumbs up for him because he asked so nicely. Now hit it. No, seriously. No, please bless me by hitting that thumbs up. When you hit the thumbs up, it actually helps out. More people will tune in. You should try it. Just hit the thumbs up, and if you get other people to hit it, then you will see the numbers actually change. But anyways, we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to talk about. 3 more days, and then President Trump will resume his position, the rightful position he should be in. I was sitting there talking to my producer earlier, and I said, you know what? I'm so glad. I am so happy that Trump won. I really am. Now, for all of you that's been paying attention, been watching me for years, you know that I've been a huge Trump supporter basically from day one. I mean, really, basically almost from day one. And I've been a huge Trump supporter. So it comes to no surprise to most of you. And you probably feel the same way that I do. Excited and so happy that President Trump won. And he's going back into the White House, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm so happy about it. So let's do this. The phone line is open, like I told you, on Friday. On Fridays, I will open up the phone line. So right now we're live everywhere. So if you want to give me a call, 319-527-3453. You can see the number right there. See the number right there. So go ahead and give me a call. Holla at me. Holla at me. What do you think? What do you think the first thing President Trump is going to do? That's what I want to hear from you about. So I don't bite too hard. I do bite, but not too hard. So if you want to give me a call and tell me what you think. I mean, look, it is Open Mic Friday. If you want to talk about the UFOs, the drones, we could talk about that too. I would love to hear what your opinion is about the drones. Well, at least that's what they're calling them, right? What they call them? They used to call them UFOs, unidentified flying object. Now they call them UAPs, unidentified flying phenomenon, right? No, I'm sorry, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. I apologize. So that's what they're calling them now. But nonetheless, if you want to give me a call right there, there's the phone number. Holla at me. Holla at me. Holla at me. Okay. Now, I do have a couple things to share with you. And of course, you know, President Trump's cabinet picks are all on Capitol Hill right now. And of course, the Republicans are asking valid questions, serious questions. And of course, all of those on the Blue Heart Democrats, they're not even really asking serious questions. They're trying to create division between President Trump's cabinet people and himself. And, you know, that's what the Democrats do. They try to create animosity. Where there is no animosity, they want to create it. And then when they create a crisis, then they don't want that crisis to go to waste. They want to take advantage of that crisis. We see it all the time. It constantly happens. Now, one thing that happened earlier today, and I'd like to share this with you. This was on Capitol Hill where Kristi Noem, she's taking on questions from a Democrat senator, and he's trying to, and all of them act the same, right? We're here for the American people. We want to make sure that the Homeland Security Secretary has the authority and the power to do what that needs to be done to protect our homeland. Really, this is what they're saying now. And I don't believe that, you know, because how they are, we know how they are. We know how they've been. So listen to some of this. And look, the phone line is open. I'm not going to keep it open for long if you don't call me. Go ahead and call me. I don't bite too hard.
That was a good answer. It's the answer I would have given as well. But I guess I got confused when Trump made the announcement about Tom Homan. He said, "quote I'm pleased to announce that Tom Homan," and said that he's in charge of our nation's borders. So I guess again, I'd just like to go back to you. How are you going to work with Mr. Homan? What is the division there? I'm trying to get a better sense of who's in charge.
Yeah, Tom Homan is an incredible human being who has over 30 years of experience.
Incredible experience.
Yeah,
I get
at
that.
the border.
I'm just trying to think through
the insight and wisdom.
Decision-making process when it comes to your work. For instance, will he be giving orders directly to CBP, ICE, USCIS?
Tom Homan has a direct line to the president. He is an advisor to the president, the border czar. I obviously will be, if nominated and confirmed, and put into the position of being the Department of Homeland Security Secretary and responsible for the authorities that we have and the actions that we take.
I say this because I actually want to make sure that we're empowering the next Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yes.
You know, in the legislation that was codified by Congress and moved forward that started this after September 11th, it said, quote, all functions of all offices, employees, and organizational units of the department are vested in the secretary. So I guess the reason why I mentioned this is I've just seen some quotes from Mr. Homan where he said, quote, I'll be making decisions on border security and deportation. He was asked in another interview about the stronger role that he'll play. And he said, absolutely, I'll be making decisions on how we do the border. So I just raise that as a concern of mine, because not only is that about the function of our executive branch, but also the capabilities of this committee to be able to properly do our constitutional duties for oversight, the ability for us to be able to have that conversation. We can talk to you, engage with you. That is the direct way. But if he is going to be making decisions, then he should come before this committee as well. And I know that that's something where, as far as I know, his role will be directly at the White House, is not something that will be under the purview directly of this committee. So I just wanted to raise those concerns.
Yeah. Tom and I work very well together and talk and communicate all the time, and we'll be working together on a daily basis when we're in our positions under the new administration. And I would say there's no authorities being planned to be taken away from the department or myself if I'm in the role, and we'll continue to oversee
signals.
CBP.
You can understand how people in my home state, maybe around the country, when they hear Mr. Homan saying, I'm making the decisions, when they hear President-elect Trump say he's in charge of our border. So, I urge, that we're going to try to do our best to try to make sure we're empowering the department, empowering the next secretary, because that's where, our laws are invested in our decision-making.
Yeah.
You see this? He doesn't care. Talking about he wanted to make sure that we empower the next Homeland Secretary so they can do what needs to be done to protect the American people. He doesn't care about that, because if he actually cared about protecting the American people, he would have been questioning what Mayorkas was doing. He'd have been questioning what Garland was doing, Christopher Wray. He would have been questioning all of them, but he had no question for them. He said absolutely nothing. And look what the situation. Open borders. Do I need to go down the laundry list? No, don't have to. So again, look, the phone line is open. Give me a call. Tell me what you think about all of this. Now, the Democrats, of course, that's who they are. That's who you can get them off the screen. Because the whole time that he was talking to her, he was trying to get her to go, well, yeah, I'm gonna take charge. And I'm not going to let Homan just run rogue. I'm not going to let Homan do what he wants to do. And she clearly said it multiple times to him that Homan has a direct phone line, direct connection to President Trump. She said it multiple times to him. And he heard it, but he came back and said, well, then, but your job, what is your job? What are you going to do? I mean, they're conniving. They want to cause the division. That's the reason why we have division in the country right now, because of the Democrats. Can I get a show of hands that say different? Give me a call. If you believe that I'm wrong, give me a call. I mean, it's open to you too. Okay, so for everyone who thinks that I'm wrong, by all means, call me. I don't bite too hard. You might even like it. 319-527-3453. Okay, so we have the phone line blowing up. All right, let's take our call.
All right, Will. Our first caller is from Florida.
Hello.
Hey, I'm calling from Florida. Two things that I want Trump to do. Immediately sign an executive order. Every person, January 6th person, needs to be let go. And I mean literally have the guards at that door the second he swears in and let them go. Literally just, I don't care. And then if you find out that there are people that should have been let go, then you can go arrest them again later. But that's ridiculous. And the other thing I really want him to do is just literally shut down the border. Just shut it down. Put every guard there and just shut it down. Those are the two things that I really want to happen.
Yeah, I agree. They need to shut down the border. He needs to stop all the trafficking of children, the fentanyl. He needs to stop all of it. Shut it down. Did we lose her?
Thank you. No, I'm still here. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you so much. I lost you for a while, didn't realize you got back on Rumble, but you're my go-to person. So I listen Sunday in the morning and at noon. As soon as she's done, I'm coming straight to you.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How are you watching right now?
I'm Rumble. I'm
You're
literally in
Rumble?
Rumble.
Okay.
I'm on Rumble, and I'm an hour off because you're Texas, I'm Florida. So
okay,
I'm
well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Did you Rumble the video?
I rumbled the video, and I also made sure I did a thumbs up. Everybody thumbs up. Get them up on that leaderboard.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Yeah, well, I think that's one thing that everybody's looking forward to is shutting down the border. You know, it's one of the top issues of the election. And so this interview today with Kristi Noem, I think that's why he's so scared. He's like, oh, how much power are they going to give to what's his name?
Holman?
How much power are they going to give him? Because they know he's going to go after hard. They want to know who to hold accountable.
I want him to have the power to go in and arrest these governors and these mayors and these legislators for aiding and abetting criminals.
But you know what's interesting?
I want him to have that power. Seriously.
It's funny because they wanted Kamala Harris. She was supposed to be border czar.
She was the border czar. She failed at it.
They were so happy she was border czar. They're like, oh, she's border czar, right? But because she did such a poor job, they're like, we didn't really call her border czar.
No, she wasn't actually the border czar.
But if the tables were turned, they would have been praising her for being the border czar.
Oh, absolutely.
But because Holman, they're scared what he's going to do. They're like, who's really in charge here? You or him? The woman or the man? We want to know. You're right. It's just sowing division. But really, they don't know how in unity they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me share some more from this hearing. This one is with Senator Hawley. Listen to this.
Reinstate the Remain in Mexico program that the president had in place in his first term, which does so much to ensure that those who would seek to abuse our asylum system are not allowed into the country. And those who have legitimate asylum claims, their claims are processed in due order and in due course, but they wait in Mexico until those claims are fully processed. Will you work to reinstate that program?
Yes, Senator, the president and I have talked extensively about this and will 100% partner with him to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy and make sure that it's in place.
Fantastic. I think Travis might be alive today if that policy had been in place. Let me ask you about CBP One, the phone app that I've called concierge service for illegal immigrants. I'm sure you're familiar with it. This was the Biden administration's effort to allow asylum seekers to apply ahead of time using their phones, but not actually to provide any evidence that they needed asylum. There was a newspaper report, a press report that said the only problem with the app is it never asks users, are you seeking asylum? They don't ask for any asylum evidence. They simply release these so-called asylum seekers who use the app into the country on parole. Sometimes they're never given a hearing. The Inspector General actually did a report, a full investigation report on CBP One, and found that frequently users of this app were claiming the same addresses in the United States as their intended destination, even though they didn't know each other. They weren't family connections. In other words, it has been completely abused. And the idea that the federal government would pay for this kind of concierge service for illegals, I think, is outrageous. Will you end the use of the CBP One app?
Yes, Senator, if confirmed, and I have the opportunity to be secretary on day one, CBP One will be shut down. There's data and information in there that we will preserve so that we can ensure we know who's coming into this country and who's already here that we need to go find, but also we make sure that there's another program, CHNV, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, where our federal government actually paid to fly people into this country directly from other countries without any vetting or knowing who they are. So there's several of these programs that need to be eliminated, and we need to ensure that we're following legal immigration laws.
I'm glad you just mentioned CHNV. This is this is a mass parole program. Of course, as you know, our law allows parole in only very limited circumstances. There are 2 circumstances, and it requires case-by-case evaluation. The present administration, soon to be gone, has granted mass parole in direct defiance of the law, not case-by-case evaluation. The CHNV program is one of those instances. Will you put a stop to this abuse of our parole law and our asylum system?
Yes, we will go back to case-by-case evaluation of these parole cases and ensure that we have more resources if you will partner with us to make sure that our legal immigration system is fully utilized, that we have more judges, more immigration courts so that we can process people legally and make sure that they are going through that process rather than, like Joe Biden has done, use this as an excuse to allow people to come into our country with no consequence.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Shut it down. Shut it down. I mean, President Trump's going to shut down all of these unnecessary programs, unnecessary, I guess, just programs, all of his programs, right? And even probably some organizations, but he's going to shut it all down. But you know what? Stuff is already starting to shut down to go right along with this, since they're shutting down the CP1 app, if I'm saying it right. They're going to shut that one down. But guess what else just shut down? The FBI shut down their DEI program. I mean, really, just days before the inauguration, and we get actually, I think they said they were going to shut it down in December, but we just got wind of it just here recently that the FBI is now shutting down their DEI.
Yeah, I think we just
so
saw it yesterday,
it's all getting
right?
shut down. I mean, wait, let me say this real quick, Shannon, before you go, because look, President Trump, he says Israel, Hamas, hey, get it in order or it's going to be hell to pay. And today, you know, they're coming to the table. So, okay, we got to do this. He's being for real. And then now you have this. They're shutting down the DEI, and there's so many other things. It's like, you know what? You got to shut it down. But President Trump put out a statement. You want to read the statement, Shannon?
Yeah, he just truthed this a little while ago today. He said, "We demand that the FBI preserve and retain all records, documents, and information on the now closing DEI office. Never should have been open, and if it was, should have been closed long ago." Why is it that they're closing one day before the inauguration of a new administration? The reason is, he says, corruption.
I can see that part. Corruption. Do you think they're going to, do you know what? I'm willing to bet as soon as they shut it down, they said, shred the paper, shred it all.
Before we go further, though,
let me say thank you really quick to Filter Dog on peel.net. Thank you so much for sending me the peels. Thank you so much to Filter Dog on peel.net. Thank you so much for that blessing.
Yeah, and I just want to do this. It is kind of breaking news, but, you know, Will's going to the inauguration and our cameraman, so say prayers for them. It is going to be very cold. But they are now moving the inauguration ceremony indoors due to freezing temperatures, and there's supposed to be a wind chill. So prayers for everybody that's going to be out there. We know so many people going to the inauguration. It's a bit disappointing, but they're also trying to decide what they're going to do with the presidential parade, because, you know, typically after inauguration, they walk down the street, line it up. So they're trying to figure out what to do with that. They are doing a rally the day before at the Capitol Arena, and so maybe utilize that also on Monday. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, first inauguration that I've ever been to, and they're pretty much, because it's so cold that it's going to, actually, that would deter a lot of people from showing up too, because of the weather being so cold. Do we know
The
what
wrong
the
people.
temperature is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be 26 degrees, it's saying right
26
now.
degrees.
But part of the problem is also there's going to be a
The
wind chill on
wind.
top of that.
Yeah.
So,
And the
I
wind
mean,
makes it feel like 16.
yeah, and at night the temperature gets down to 9 degrees.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a brutal weekend. It's
It really
so
is.
unfortunate. It's
Yeah,
so unfortunate.
It really is. Hey, look, the phone line is open, 319-527-3453. Give me a call. Give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. What else would you like to see President Trump do in the first 100 days? For me, I want to see what he's going to do in the first 100 hours, because the first 100 hours is going to flip the heads of the Blue Heart Democrats. They're going to be so upset because he's doing so many positive things. You heard me correctly. The Blue Heart Democrats are going to be upset because he's doing positive things. Make that make sense. Remember, like, he can't do this. He shouldn't be able to do this. He's a convicted felon. Right? You know that's what they're going to say. I mean, they're already saying it. I'm surprised. Whatever happened to Raskin? Because, Raskin said that he was going to push for Civil War conditions. But, hey, Monday's not here yet. So I guess Raskin still have an opportunity to try to push that through. I guess, maybe he does. I don't know why he would. Well, I know why he would, because they don't want President Trump to go back into the White House. But, nonetheless, he's going to go back. Let me share another one with you from Christy Nome from earlier today. And which one was this, Shannon? Help me out here.
She's saying that illegals will finally have to pay consequences. They've been getting
Oh, yeah,
away
that's
with
right.
breaking, not only coming to our country, but laws like robbing and other things like that. So,
yep. All right. Hit the Rumble button. No matter how you're watching this, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up.
That somebody recognized that this was something they were questioning and that they deserved answers. My goal and my mission is to build trust. We will undertake a large job and a large duty that we have to fulfill, that the American people expect us to do, by securing our border, to make sure that our nation is a nation with borders, or we're no nation at all, and that we are making sure that those criminal actors that are perpetuating violence in our communities and in our cities and towns and states are removed from this country, that there's consequences for breaking the law in our country again. There has to be consequences, because when Americans break the law, there's consequences. And why would we ever allow someone to come in from another country and not allow them, and not have consequences, or allow them to continue to go forward and to commit rape and murders and break other laws that endanger our society? So we've had over 13,000 murders that are loose in this country that have come over that border. We've had almost 16,000 rapists and sexual assault perpetuators that are loose in this country right now. 425,000 plus people have criminal convictions that are here illegally in this country that our current administration is doing nothing to round them up and get them out of our country. We will be doing that immediately, and that will be the priority. And that is one of the reasons that today the American people have lost their trust. President Trump will build it back and know that their federal government is accountable to them, that somebody recognized that this...
Isn't that what we want? Isn't that exactly what we've been asking for? We want people that's actually broken the law to be held responsible for their actions. I mean, that's the way things are supposed to be. I mean, if you want to have a, civilized nation, you have to hold people responsible for their actions. But of course, the Blue Heart Democrats, they don't have the same feeling about all of that. The Blue Heart Democrats want to do away. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's go down to California. We're in D.C. Let's go down to California. California is not looking good. And Gavin Newsom, being the governor, there's a lot of people actually calling for the recall of Gavin Newsom, along with Mayor Bass. They want both of them out for their negligence. Now, no one is making claim that they went out there and they started these fires. No one is saying that. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not saying that they went out and started. What I am talking about, and millions of other people are talking about, is the negligence. Them not doing what they're supposed to do to prevent it from getting to the point that it reached. Yesterday, if you go online and you do a Google search, or you're trying to search to see how much, the fire's been contained. As of yesterday, one location said it was 43%. One other location said it was 24%. And then actually another fire started up. And so let me tell you how I found this out. So, I'm in my vehicle and I do hands free because I'm watching the road. I don't hold my phone in my hand. And so I asked Siri, can you give me an update on how much the fires contain in the state of California? Of course, I don't say California because I don't think it would understand California. So it came back and it says, so it came back and it told me the stats on 43%, one location, 24% another location. Then it said another fire started up in San Bernardino. And I'm like, really? And then it says, but it doesn't have any information on how much has been contained. So then I asked Siri again, can you give me fire details about the fire that started in San Bernardino? Then it came back the second time and said, yes, the fire started in San Bernardino, and it gave the time and the date when it was reported. And then it said that it was, and then it said someone was arrested for arson. And I'm like, why didn't it tell me that information the last time? It just said, we don't know, the containment on it. I guess because I didn't ask, but the next time I asked for more details. But yeah, it was because of arson. And they actually made an arrest. But Gavin Newsom, regardless of all of this, regardless that there was over 10,000 homes and businesses just completely gone, Gavin Newsom is still looking to run in 2028. Personally, he should be 100% done. There's no reason why he should be running for anything after this. He should be removed. And some people believe that because of his negligence, he should be, he should have to go sit in a courtroom and explain himself to a judge. And if it's not a liberal judge, he's going to be in trouble because of his negligence. Well, listen to him here. Listen to him here. And I don't know, there's no music in this, is there, Shannon? I don't think there's no music in this. Listen to him here, because again, he's already trying to act like he's running, and he's trying to act like he's for Republicans and Democrats. He's trying to come across like he's for everybody. We need to help everybody, no matter where they are. Because, I'm thinking about 2028. Forget about all the people that lost their homes.
Never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never conditioned it. We never talked about putting the full faith and credit of the United States of America with the debt ceiling bill so we can get tax cuts for billionaires and corporations that don't need it, and then put at risk the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans that happen to live in California, a state with millions and millions of Trump supporters, Speaker Johnson and Mr. President-elect. Millions of your supporters are out here. They need your help. They need your empathy. They need your care, whatever compassion you can express, as opposed to condemnation and divisive language that has aided and embedded nothing except mis and disinformation that's flamed fear and flamed a lot of anxiety for folks that are simply trying to recover. And at the same time, our first responders trying to address the emergency at hand, which still hasn't been fully buttoned up.
So you hear Gavin Newsom trying to act like, I'm here for it and we got all the answers and we're doing this. He's a slick talker.
You know what? I am so sick of this
He's
man.
a slick talker.
First of all, he doesn't acknowledge Trump supporters in his state at all. Talking about coming up with $50 million to Trump-proof California. Well, if you're so concerned about the Trump people that voted for Trump in your state, why are you doing that, right? So he talks out both sides of his mouth. His actions speak louder than his words. You want to actually help the people in California, step down. My goodness, you've ruined California. You guys in power have been so negligent by cutting the budget for fires. California, listen, with the wildlife and everything it has, it's a beautiful state. Gosh, I love California. My heart is in California, right? I was born and raised there. And I'm so sick of how they've ruined it. They've ruined it. And he's trying to get upset with Trump. Well, how dare you do this and how dare you do that? So all of a sudden you're on the same side of Trump. You know what? This guy, he's got to go. He's got to go.
Him and Mayor Bass.
And I feel bad that he's actually using, for the first time ever, you hear him acknowledge the people at Trump voted for Trump.
Well, again, the only reason why he's doing that because he wants to make it look like
he needs money.
I'm not the bad guy
he
here.
He needs money. He's desperate for money.
And he needs money, but see, at the same time, he's
deficit.
trying to. He's on the campaign trail already.
Well,
that's what he's doing.
What is that one guy, Gavin with good hair? Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport.
The once Democrat comedian that's been almost red-pilled.
No, he's been pretty much red-pilled.
He pretty much has.
He's been. You know what? He was so angry. He said I saw this video with him, and he was cursing like no tomorrow. Yeah. And you know when he puts his videos out there, he'll beep out the curse words, but he is cursing like up a storm. And while he's on there cursing, he's yelling and cursing and said, "I can't believe this. I'm gonna have to vote for Trump." And he's this and that, and I gotta vote for Trump. And this was, I mean, he was going off. He was like, I'm so mad I have to vote for Trump because he was seeing what was happening. And now with these fires that happened in California,
and he said
more Democrats that were like completely against Trump, they're saying this is not right. We've got to make some serious changes here.
You know, if I was California, a voter from California, I too would be like, you know what, Trump, don't give him any money unless he fixes what's broken, right? Because what's going to happen with that money? Well, you and I both know that the taxpayers in California have paid so much money for so many things that they don't even believe in. Agendas, DEI, other things. And then they cut the very basics like fire protections. They cut those things for a train to go nowhere, which you and I have passed by several times. Just huge, you know, was it miles and miles of train, and there's no train rails, and there's no train.
Yeah, it was a train to nowhere. It was a speed rail that they were putting.
Thank you. I was like, what's the word?
Yeah, it was
so
speed
disgusting. Rail. And even Rappaport, he said he lives in New York actually. He said that he had to go to California because he does film movies and such.
Yes.
And he said every time he goes there, he's absolutely disgusted with how gross California has been cut. He's like with the homelessness, which is another place that a whole bunch of money has been spent on, and the problems only got worse, not better.
Well, you know, I used to constantly say the only way that you're going to get people to actually change their viewpoint on supporting Trump or supporting the Blue Heart Democrats is that they have to experience something that the Democrats are doing themselves. They have to experience it themselves. That's the only way you can actually get people to wake up. Now, sometimes they experience what the Blue Heart Democrats are doing, and they still don't wake up to it. They still end up believing and wanting to blame Trump. They still want to do that after all of the stuff that they've gone through. Well, this is Trump's fault. This is Trump's fault. This is Trump's fault.
You know what? It's interesting because Filter Dog, he just put a thing on Pilled. He said, it seems like every time California needs federal money, fires break out. You know, this isn't completely untrue. I mean, you had the fires in Paradise, California a couple years ago. Even COVID, they were begging for money. And they got so much money, they're like, oh, we have a surplus. We have a surplus. And now that surplus is completely gone. And they're in a deficit of, what, 50 billion or something? It's like ridiculous. Or is it 50 million? Either way, they shouldn't be a deficit.
No, you talking about California? Yeah. California, it's in the billions. Yeah, it's in the billions. And so remember, Hawaii was on fire. Look what they did there. I think it was $600 per person. And some people got denied there. Then North Carolina was $750 per person, and even some people got denied there. And people already in California, it's been reported that they're asking for the assistance and they're getting denied there. I saw this story where this actually, so let me tell you. So I've been going to a new church. And since I've been going to this new church, I just love this new church because this new church, my pastor will talk about the wokeism. He'll talk about different things that's happening in our world today. He's even mentioned Nancy Pelosi in the stock exchange. I'm like, wow. I mean, wow, right? So ever since I've been going there, I've been going to a men's group. And today in the men's group, one guy, because we asked the one who's leading the men's group in our church, he was asking, is there anyone, he always asks, is there anyone that has prayer requests? And he, before we pray out, we'll pray for the person, whatever it is that their needs are. And one was saying that he has someone that's directly connected to losing their homes. They lost everything in California, right? And he said that they did a GoFundMe page for this. I don't know. I can't remember if he said it's a family member or just a friend. But he said they did the GoFundMe for him, and they've raised like over $100,000 for them. But in the state of California, and he made a really good point, in the state of California, $100,000 doesn't really get you far. And I'm sitting there thinking about that. You know what? That's so true. Because when I was living in California, everything was already so expensive. And I wasn't even in LA. So if you're in the LA area, it is ridiculous. So $100,000, it might put a little dent, a little small dent, but it doesn't get you long. It doesn't take you far anywhere. If anything, take that and get out of the state of California. That's what you want to do. You want to get it. Yeah. And look, don't make the withdrawal until you get out of the state of California. Move out first. Get residents out first. Just get out before you do it, because they'll want to take some of that money from you. Because they're I'm telling you, it's terrible. And I'm sitting there thinking they get $100,000 and it doesn't go far. But then Joe Biden's like, we're going to give you $770 so you can get some diapers and some water. Really? The firemen don't have water. How are they going to get water?
California is so desperate for money. Even the state is coming after people that have moved out of California saying that they owe taxes. You and I just got through dealing with this. They said we owe taxes and we had to prove that we didn't even live there. Right? How are you going to come after us for money and we never even lived there? We didn't file taxes because we didn't live there.
During the time. Yeah. Right. California want me to pay for taxes from the time I wasn't even in California any longer. I'm like, really? No, I'm not going to do it. So it's ridiculous. Hey, we had one person give us a call. Had one person give me a call. Do y'all think I bite that hard? Come on now. The phone line's right there. You can always hang up. Right? Especially if you don't like Will Johnson. I really want to hear from you. Especially if you don't like me. I really want to hear from you. So there's a phone number right there, 319-527-3453. Give me a call. Tell me what you think. We could talk again. Today's Friday. What do y'all think about the drones? President Trump said he's going to release the information about the drones, or he's going to have more detail about the drones after the 20th. He's like, I don't know why they're not telling anybody what the deal is about these drones. And if President Trump goes into office and he says something about these drones that the American people should have known about, then I'm going to be like, why are they not talking? Why didn't they talk about it? It just goes to show how much the Democrats are trying to hide information from all of us. It would just go to show that. So if you want to give me a call, of course, about President Trump's first 100 days, I want to hear what you think one of the things that he's going to do. Phone line's right there.
They'd like to see him do.
Yeah, what do you think? What would you like to see him do? Yeah,
100, at least 100 executive orders are going to happen on day one?
That's what they said. 100 plus executive orders in the first day.
I want to know what the surprises are, right?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, there are going to be some surprises.
It's going to be such a great day.
Monday fun day. It's going to be cold. Oh my goodness, it's going to be cold.
I feel for you. It's
going to be cold.
I feel for all the people going there. And now it's going inside, which is so disappointing. I mean, I understand it's super cold because we've been watching it and been concerned ourselves. I mean, we've had to buy thermals and hot hands.
So I'm wondering, wondering on Monday, since they're going to have it on the indoors now, since they're going to have it inside, I wonder if they're going to have facilities throughout the city for people to go to.
Like, wouldn't it be cool if like the arena opened up for the people who want to watch it and they?
I mean, that would be ideal,
That'd
right?
be cool, right?
I mean, it would have to be multiple locations because a lot of people, to my understanding, is showing up.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of people are going to show up to this, so it would have to be multiple locations. I'm hoping that they'll do something, and if that's the case, man, we need to get it locked down now.
I wish they had an app, like to tell people where to go. Right? Like go here, go there.
Maybe that's something you should design,
I guess if you
Shannon.
go to the website, there is a Trump Vance inauguration website. So
Can you put that?
In fact, I'm
Can
gonna
you
go
put
that
that up
right
on the
now.
screen? Put that up on the screen for us. Okay, I want to share another one with you from California, and this is the Republicans in California. Is this correct? Because they're talking about Huntington Beach.
yeah, they're saying that they're going to become a non-sanctuary city.
Oh, I bet you that's upsetting Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, well, of course.
Well,
it is.
actually, when President Trump goes into office, they're going to have to shut it down anyways, right?
Well, I mean, that's part of the 50 million.
I mean, because it's been going
in-
against, but it's been going against federal law.
Well, I mean, that's why they're going to fight it in California. That's why they're coming up with this 50 million and, to fight Trump. One of them is to protect illegals.
Huntington Beach is poised to declare itself a non-sanctuary city. At the next council meeting on Tuesday, there's going to be an initiative presented to City Council for adoption, declaring the city non-sanctuary status, meaning that it will coordinate and cooperate with federal agencies and fully effectuate all the tools available, both at the local, state, and federal level, for best practices to combat crime.
And that's what we've been asking for, right? To fight crime. Best practices to fight crime. But isn't it interesting how the Blue Heart Democrats are against that? I mean, they're really against it. They were even against the Laken-Raleigh bill. They were against that. Like, how dare you want to deport these monsters? How dare you? Do you not have compassion? And see, that's the reason why these Blue Heart Democrats are doing this, because they have compassion for those that are here harming American citizens. It's mind-blowing to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Hey, did y'all hear about TikTok? Did y'all hear about TikTok? So apparently, the Supreme Court ruled today that TikTok, the ban that Joe Biden, how many days was it? Like 280 days ago? Something like that. 280 days ago, they put the ban in place against TikTok. 280 days ago. And it's like they almost planned it to happen right here. I mean, obviously they did. They planned it to happen right before President Trump goes into office. If President Trump didn't win and the Wicked Witch was getting ready to go into the position, the ban most definitely would go into effect. They would try to prevent it from getting a buyer. And the thing is, and I'm on TikTok. The only reason why I got on TikTok because President Trump was on there during the election. That's the only reason why I got on there during the campaign. I got on there. And all these people that were on there complaining about President Trump, because TikTok was like the #1 Trump complaining app. I mean, really. They were on there complaining every single day, all day long. They do these videos where they have people come up on the screen with them and they do nothing but complain about President Trump. And now here's President Trump saying, look, we're going to work to see if we can keep TikTok going. President Trump is the one saying that. Why? Because there's over 7 million businesses on TikTok. There's like 170 million people on TikTok. And President Trump knows that people are using TikTok to make a living. So he's like, no, we don't want people to lose their income. So President Trump is like, let's see what we can do to keep it going. He's going to look at that on day one as well. He's already mentioned it. But all of these people that were on TikTok complaining about Trump, are you still complaining about him? Because he's the one that's trying to keep it up.
Yeah, he said, actually, he truthed out today that he knows it was banned for a reason. So he's going to look at it and he will make a decision on it in the future. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think they were going to try to push it out like 90 days or something like that,
and
so
actually,
they can work
we have
things
an
out.
update on the inauguration. Trump actually truthed about it, but let's go ahead and take a phone call first. What do you
Okay,
say, Will?
let's go.
Okay, we have Vicky Smith from Northern California.
Hey, Vicky.
Hey, Will. Hi, Shannon. How are you guys?
Great.
Great.
Good to hear you.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I know you've been all over the place, and I've been traveling around. My husband retired, and we've been visiting grandkids and family all over the place.
Oh, that's
But I
awesome.
try to catch you whenever I can. I was wanting to say you were talking about what I'd like to see President Trump do the first day. First thing is close the frickin' border. I mean, that's above all and foremost the first thing. And to release the J6 prisoners.
Yes.
Those are my two top things.
Those are on my
And
heart
something else.
too.
Go ahead.
And that's what's on my heart too.
You know, if I have to hear one more story of another child, woman, what have you, human American citizen killed by these gang thugs that they have allowed to come in our country, I mean, I'm ready to go pick up a gun and go stand at the border and say no more. We're full. We're closed.
I was just going to add to that, Vicky, and if my switchboard operator can put this up on the screen. Here in Texas, they've already started building the wall. They've already started the production back on.
I think I had seen something that Governor Abbott was trying to get started doing that.
Yep.
And I was surprised.
According to the report that I've seen, that they've already started building the wall again. So, and you know, if the Democrats wanted to do a lawsuit against it, they know it'd be, how do you say it, frivolous? It wouldn't go anywhere. It would just like fall flat because it's like, okay, about time they get the paperwork in there and get it going, Trump will be in there and it said it becomes pointless. So that's the reason why they're not fighting it. And they've already picked back up and start doing the production on finishing the wall.
Well, didn't they put a stop to them selling any more of that wall down from Texas down there?
Yes.
Did they put a stop to that?
Yes, they actually put a stop to it. And the last report that I heard about that as well is that President Trump has already put a memo out there to everyone who's already purchased materials from the border wall, that they have to immediately return it. Because if you really think about it, this was taxpayer material. Some interns inside the White House, I don't think Joe Biden had anything to do with it. I don't even think Joe Biden knew what was going on. And I believe some interns inside said, I have a great idea. We can just go ahead and, create a website and just start selling off the material. They're selling it off for like $5 for units. It's ridiculous. And President Trump put it out there saying you have to immediately return it. So all these companies that purchased this material, okay, we're bringing it back because they don't want to be in trouble. Me personally, I think that it was lawless for them to do that in the first place because it was taxpayer funded stuff. So
that's how bad they hate America.
It really.
Well, they wanted to sell it for pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
And then and what President Trump said, everything he says is always the truth. And we were already talking about it. Then we're going to have to turn around and pay today's prices from China for that kind of material again.
Yeah. It's
like ridiculous. When they double dip you.
Yeah.
And
think about it. If I do a program and I get the taxpayers to pay for it and I create material, whatever it is, and then I'm getting ready to do it for the benefit of the American people. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start selling it for profit. How is that not criminal? That's lawlessness, if you ask me.
There should be charges about and
it's a peaceful transfer of power is what it is, right?
Yeah. And I think yesterday something came out. It was 149 Democrats voted against deporting or arresting the sexual crime illegals.
Yes.
They voted against it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
they're
calling that's the Lake and Raleigh bill. Is it a different bill? It might be a different bill.
I don't know if
it might be a different bill, but you're absolutely
they
right.
Voted,
but Lincoln Riley actually passed, at least in the
House. Was it that one? Because I didn't see.
But see, the Democrats, I think,
on that.
To my understanding, only 2 Democrats voted for it, but the rest of them were
completely
against it.
Are they all pedophiles? Who in their right mind would say, "Oh, I want to keep these rapists, murdering, pedophilia"? They're like, is the whole Democratic Party, look at the questions they're asking Trump's people. Those women, of all people, asking all these everything is always sexual
Yes.
content.
Yes. Have you ever been involved in any kind of sexual assault
Yeah,
of any
Hirono.
sort?
From the-
Toronto? Yeah, I'm like,
From
what?
the age of
What does that got to do with the job?
yes, and look at the weirdo sickos that Biden put in there. No one's questioning them. How many times have we seen Kamala Harris and Pelosi drunk giving speeches on television?
Did you say
And they want to know
Oh,
how
I
many
like
times
that one. Oh my goodness.
how many times
That's
Pete
hilarious.
Hegseth or
I've
Matt
never heard
Gaetz has
that
been
before.
drunk or something since you were the age of 18. Or, like, what? Like, everybody's going to live it up and be, who remembers everything they did? Everybody's going to do something in your early years. But he's a married man, settled with 7 kids. The guy's got a record. Pete Hegseth is the best thing that's going to happen to the military since Trump got elected in 2016.
Yep.
Thank God
Absolutely.
that the
And then another thing.
Republicans and the sound of reason is there. Because I don't even know if you've noticed, Vicky, but these women that Trump elected, I'm quite impressed with them. They're very smart. They're very articulate. They know what they believe in the rule of law. And you counter them with people like AOC and all these other people on the left side. I'm like, the women on the right, there's a reason why they've said that if there's ever a female president, it's going to be a Republican, because these ladies on Capitol Hill have been proving how smart and intelligent the women are in the Republican Party.
And I hope Mark Cuban's taking notes on that too.
Oh my goodness,
there
Mark
you go.
Cuban.
That's so
You know
true.
what, Mark Cuban, you know what he did right after the election? You know what he did, right? He went, so
I don't know. You have to
during
remind
the
me.
election on
Did he get off
X.
X?
No, I don't think he got off of X, but after the election, he deleted every single post associated with Kamala Harris. Everything.
Oh.
Like he's never said a word about her. Never said a word about it. He deleted everything.
Wow.
Like according to him, she didn't exist. It's that bad.
Wow.
But a lot of them,
I think everybody felt that way. Look at Silicon Valley. I'm a little nervous about all these rich billionaire people wanting to suck up to Trump right now. Because had he lost, none of them still would have given him the time of day.
Oh, of course not.
So I'm kind of sitting on the fence a little bit. If, I have like the PTS syndrome from Mike Pence about trusting anybody. Look at Amy Coney Barrett the other day voting in the Supreme Court. She could have stopped that sentencing for Trump by that New York judge.
She could have. She could have. So,
that's kind of scary.
I think
And
we all
another
have a
thing,
little bit of that
before you have
PTSD.
But you know what? Let me say this, because President Trump, he likes to play 4D chess. Who's to say that President Trump didn't have any kind of conversation with them and say, you know what, let it go through. Let it go through. Because what they did has never happened to a single American in this country before.
Yeah.
Literally went nowhere. I mean,
But the point is that they weaponize the system against an American citizen.
and now
There
he
should be
gets to appeal it.
consequences for that.
And now he gets to appeal it.
And now he gets to
so
appeal
hopefully
it.
some stuff will come out about it. But
Yeah.
Well, can he pardon himself? Is the
Can.
Constitution written where he can pardon himself?
I've read several people and they've said there's nothing that would restrict him from pardoning himself.
Can he undo some of the pardons that Biden has done?
No,
Can
you
he
can't
rescind
undo
them?
any pardons.
No. Once
Ah.
they,
I was hoping there'd be a
Joe Biden does
loophole
it, it's done.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's a great power that they have. And
It's one of the last things that
Yeah.
they can do.
executive orders, yes, you
You
can
know,
undo. but
I have the
pardons, no.
hardest time understanding, Will, is it was a landslide. It was a phenomenal. It was more than a landslide election on November 5th. The people spoke. Why is it now that the man who was elected as president can't pick his own people to support him and help him and work and do the job? Why do they have to go before all the evil people that are against them to get their approval now?
Yeah, I hear
That
you.
makes
That's just
no sense.
Well, because, to be fair, if and when another blue heart Democrat is in the White House, they're going to have a cabinet pick too, and they will have to go before the Senate, both Republicans and Democrats. So, it's been a process that's been there since day one, basically, right? So it's a process. Now the question is how come not Merrick Garland, but how come Jack Smith didn't have to go through that same process? And they were questioning how come he was never confirmed through the Senate. He just ran rogue. But all that's going to come out. We're going to see. We're going to see what they're going to do. Now, I'm hoping that President Trump, he does what he has to do, because if he doesn't get the people that did the wrong things, because he's the top law officer in the country, if he doesn't get them, they're going to do it again. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. You have, if you allow criminals to continue to do criminal activity and no one stops them, they're going to do it again. So.
And maybe not his first day, but in the first 100 days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still living in California, right? So I feel like those fires in LA, all of that was intentional. Whichever way scenario you want to figure it out, but it was planned. It was orchestrated. You don't.
It sure looks that way.
And have no
it sure
water.
looks that way. I don't know how someone could really argue the point, but it really looks that way.
I think if you consider negligence as an intentional thing, I could probably absolutely see that point. But
Yep.
But you know what? This is my hope, and this is what I'm praying, because I'm still living here, is that Elon Musk and Gavin Newsom hate each other. Everybody knows their whole scenario, their fight, Elon leaving California and all of that. And Trump has promised to make America great, and to start doing that, he may have to start state by state. I hope the two of them come after that greasy, gruesome, new scum and give him the what for. He has cheated the recalls election. Everybody says, oh, California gets what they deserve because that's who they vote for. If they believe that they can cheat the presidency election, this little bug here in California has cheated everybody, everything.
It really looks like,
plus
let me say this. It gives the perception. Let's say that even if they didn't do that, it gives the perception that they did. And that's where the problem comes in, right? It gives the perception that they did. So, well, hey, Vicky, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for the call.
Thanks, Vicky.
Well, thank you for coming back on Facebook. I'm glad that I catch. I don't do all those other channels. I try to catch you on Rumble every now and then, but you're different time frames than me, so I always get your replay. But it's better than not getting you to see you at all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, you be safe.
Yes.
And give President Trump a wave and a hug from Vicky Smith in California.
I will work on that. I will work on it. God bless.
You guys take care.
Right,
Keep up the good work, Will. God bless you and Shannon and your family.
God bless you. Take care. Okay, so the inauguration is going to be brutal cold, and apparently they're going to make some dramatic changes here.
Yep. Trump just made an announcement.
He just
today.
made another announcement?
He actually truthed this out just a little while ago. He said January 20th cannot come soon enough. Everybody, even those that initially opposed a victory of Trump and the administration, just want it to happen. It is my obligation to protect the people of our country. But before we even begin, we have to think of inauguration itself. The weather forecast for D.C. with the wind chill factor could take temperatures into severe record lows. There's an Arctic blast sweeping the country. He said, I don't want to see people get hurt, injured in any way. It is dangerous conditions for the tens of thousands of law enforcement, first responders, canines, and even horses, and hundreds of thousands of supporters that will be outside for many hours on the 20th. He said, in any event, if you do come outside, dress warmly. He said, therefore, I've ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the Capitol Rotunda, as was used by Reagan in 1985 with similar cold weather. He said, we will open the Capital One Arena on Monday for a live viewing of the historic event and to host the presidential parade. He said, I will join the crowd at the Capitol One after the swearing in. All other events remain the same. He actually posted the weather. He said wind chills at noon on Monday are 6 to 10 degrees outside. That's why he decided to move it in.
Wow. You know, I can imagine how the Democrats are so excited that it's this cold. They want to disrupt it as much as possible. And they're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is good news. See, we told you he's not going to be sworn in. We told you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would, please bless me by hitting the thumbs up, no matter how you're watching this. And for the people on the replay, that will help out with the algorithms, help out on the algorithms. All right, everybody. I will see you Monday in DC. Not sure where or how, but I will be there. God bless everyone. Have a good weekend. Take care.